This is David Ashcraft, and today we're going to be checking out the Pine Mountain Cloverdale Peak Appellation in far northern Sonoma County, with some of the highest elevation vineyards in the area and super long hang time for the fruit. Today we're fortunate to be speaking with Barry Hoffner, president of the Growers Association. And today Barry's going to share with us why this region is so special and unique. Let's talk to Barry.
Barry Hoffner, and here we are at Silverwood Ranch above the hills of Cloverdale. I'm co-owner of the ranch along with my wife Jackie Hoffner. What makes Pine Mountain unique is we are have the highest elevation vineyards in Sonoma County. The minimum vineyard elevation is 1,500 feet. That was specified in our application when we received our AVA. The highest elevation is 2,600 feet. We have 2 vineyards at that level. And the average elevation is around 2,000. Because we're in the hills, most of the vineyards are small plots, 10 to 20 acres, of gravel, shale soil, and with generally southwest orientation. The AVA is roughly 80% Cabernet Sauvignon, and some other red varietals such as Malbec, Cabernet Franc. We have some unique varietals from some of the higher elevation areas of Italy. Lagrigne is one and Terroir is another. We also have some Tempranillo and just a little bit of white, some Sauvignon Blanc and a little bit of Chardonnay. We generally bud 2 weeks to 1 month later than the valley floor. And on the other side, our grapes hang at least a month later than the valley. Oftentimes we're harvesting late into October. That gives our grapes longer hang times to develop more concentrated flavors and soften the tannins. Another thing that's not well known is up here we have a smaller diurnal temperature variation, something winemakers like, and that keeps the vines kind of working consistently through the growing season. As an example, I think the average diurnal temperature variation for the valley is something like 35 days, and we're generally 35 degrees, and we're under 30 degrees. Rains a lot up here. I'd say probably double what it rains down in the valley. Typical year we can get 60 to 80 inches of rain up here. Grapes have been growing on Pine Mountain since the 1850s. We have some vineyards that were found by owners when they bought their properties in the 1900s that date back to that time. Most of the vineyards, though, were planted since in the early 1990s. There are some 3rd and 4th generation farmers on Pine Mountain, but for the most part, most of the vineyards are newer. Silverwood Ranch is a 1,200-acre ranch comprised of 2 special vineyards. One vineyard is called Upper Ridge. It's leased out to the Benziger family for their Imagery Estate Winery label. It comprises roughly half the volume of grapes that go into Imagery wines, most of which are Pine Mountain appellated. And the vineyard we farm we call Silverwood Vineyard. We sell grapes to 3 separate wineries. Most of our grapes go to Francis Ford Coppola Winery, and most of the Cabernet goes into their highest end Archimedes brand. We also sell some grapes to Miro Cellars for separately bottled Pine Mountain AVA Cabernet that has been available since 2008. And finally, we sell some grapes to Kendall Jackson. In addition, a number of wines have won double gold. Miro Cellars, Imagery Estate Wineries Tempranillo and Malbec. The Malbec is the highest elevation vineyard in Sonoma County, and that's won double gold a number of times, both at the San Francisco Chronicle wine tasting competition and also at the San Diego International Competition. And finally, Coppola's Archimedes, which is our highest end Cabernet, received a score of 95 from Parker for the 2012. One of the things we think makes Pine Mountain Cloverdale Peak AVA unique is, as we started to form our membership group after being approved in 2011, found that a number of ranch owners on Pine Mountain, even those who didn't grow grapes, maybe they grew olives, or didn't grow anything at all, were interested in becoming members of our AVA for the community aspect. And we found that given our properties are so far apart in distance, the AVA itself has created a great community of people really committed to being up here for the amazing nature and for the sustainable living. And that's one thing we appreciate about our AVA. So longer term, given that we have a great base anchor support large wineries, we also believe over time smaller cult winemakers will develop an interest in Pine Mountain Cloverdale Peak Appellation, will want to either buy grapes or plant their own vineyards up here to produce their own boutique wines.
I hope you enjoyed learning about the Pine Mountain Cloverdale Peak Appellation today. I know I did, and I truly appreciate the time that Barry spent with us. With that in mind, I think it's time to have a glass of wine, and until next time, cheers.